The the issue about loyalty and honor and all that stuff, it's pretty much come up throughout our lives about doing the right thing or doing what seems to be the right thing. Although in this day and age, there's no right and wrong. Everybody's side is equal and everybody has an opinion and all opinions are equal and blah, 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 blah. Well, I just came across something. It might, to most of you, it probably won't mean anything, but to me it means a lot because it gives away once more psychological insight into the scumbags I have seen over the past year, i.e., the investor community. There is no more despicable group of people than investors, from what I can gather. I mean, the greed and the avarice and the money, it's sickening. My advice to someone would don't ever go on those servers. I keep forgetting what they're called, but you know the servers, the
Doesn't matter. They're probably all the same.
Discord servers, whatever. The retire on dividends. The owner of that's the miserable Mark. He's a real piece of shit. You got this other one, Kilmer, who's a lunatic Marine that throws people out of his thing. Although he has a little bit of honor compared to everybody else, probably because of his military background. But I came across something today, just once more reinforces that. This guy on the retire on dividends, a miserable Mark, as I call him, he is a miserable son of a bitch. All of a sudden, he came up and started pushing for this guy, Andre, to get to 5,000 subscribers. Now, in case you don't know, Andre is the guy that has been totally against yield max and defiance. He's against high yield stuff. He spoke out against it. He joined forces with others to speak out against it. He was so freaking bad that Kilmer actually banned him and two other people at one time from his server because the guy's just totally anti. Well, guess who shows up at the Yield Max Fest in New York for a freebie? Andre, right? But so did that Max Kovexty, who's also against Yield Max and defiance. You know, a free meal and all. But now, all of a sudden, this miserable Mark who pushes Yield Max, who's been getting interview after interview with Jay Petrocelli of Yield Max and Sylvia Jablonski of Defiance, he's asking people to subscribe to Andre to get him up to 5,000 subscribers. So I can't even get this the fuck out. Subscribers. Join forces. So, I mean, it's like, what the fuck is going on in this? It all goes back to this whole, even with politics and shit, where with Biden and them trying to get rid of him, and now all of a sudden the press is starting to turn maybe favorably back to him. There's just no fucking rhyme or reason. And I've often said I do not trust anybody outside of my family. And people have looked at me like, oh, well, it's true. It's true. Nobody is trustworthy. There's three people I trust. My wife, my son, and this thing. I can't call him a dog. He's beyond a dog. He's just totally loyal to us beyond anything. And after that, everybody else is suspect because you have no fucking honor. Yes, let's get Andre over the top so he can slam Yield Max even more. Okay. And one other thing with this this whore for money, Mark. He put out a survey just recently asking his crowd, to kiss up to them, pretend he cares what they think. He's getting money, from YouTube and all. He said, should he go to margin? Should he start trying margin? Don't know if you're aware of it. Fidelity, among other brokerages, are starting to up the maintenance for yield max funds and maybe other funds going forward. It used to be, I think they had a 30% maintenance requirement. You had to have 30% of the money or funds in your portfolio in order to get another 70% on margin. Now they're making it 100%, dollar for dollar. No more margin, no more freebies, which is good. I'm glad. Well, anyway, miserable Mark has asked his crowd of unlearned, unwashed scumbags, should I do margin? I was tempted to jump in and say, definitely do it. You know why, miserable Mark? Because when you get a margin call or they fuck over you, I can't wait to hear the bitching and whining. I'll actually produce videos showing it, You're just basically contemptible. By the way, a little update on our portfolio. We just passed the $80,000 mark again. We've been taking money out of that to pay down some debt and all. Otherwise, it would have been up way over $100,000 by now. We're using FEPI as our go-to guy, the underlying and all that. We got, I'm up to about 500 shares of it now. My goal is 1,000 shares. We have 700 shares of Misty. We've got 800 shares in NVIDIA. Amazon, we just restarted a position in that. We've got 300 shares there. The Snowy 170 shares. I'm going to start feeding that from the dividends from these other big earners. We have the oil on USOY from Defiance. We've got 500 shares there. We have at ULTY, which is showing a turnaround. It showed a nice little profit. We're starting to get in agreement with that. We own 750 shares there. We're going to try to get to 1,000 on that. And I think that's about it, but that's the update for now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And don't forget Mark. Go in the margin, baby. By the way, he bragged about Misty the other day. He actually bought 10 whole shares of it. Go. You'll be a trillionaire by the time you're 106. You contemptible piece.